Attorney General Dave Yost Help Center. We are committed to assisting you in any way that we can. Information you receive from the Attorney General's office is informational guidance. It is not legal advice. Any information provided to the Attorney General is considered a public record. Please note that your call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance purposes. For questions about tax offset, press 1. For questions about a debt owed to a state agency, press 2. For guidance on how to report unemployment identity theft, press 3. For questions about a background check, press 4. If you would like to express your opinion or provide information to the Attorney General's office that does not require a callback, press 5 to leave a voicemail. For all other calls, please press 6 or stay on the line for the next available representative. Press star. Please hold while we transfer your call to the next available agent. Welcome to the office of Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. My name is Rina. Have you contacted us about this topic before?
Specifically in this context, no. In general, I believe so.
Okay. May I have your first and last name?
Well, if you're asking for first and last name, that would be the first and last name of the trust that I'm the beneficiary of. If you want to know my name is Brandon. You can refer to me as Brandon. My family name is Killeran.
No problem. So, and then your last name, Mr. Brandon?
It's not my last name. It's the last name of the trust. That's what I was trying to explain to you. When you ask first and last name, that first and last name refers to the trust name, and that would be the all capital letter name that looks similar to mine, but it's not mine. I'm the beneficiary of that trust account. So the last name of the trust would be Killeran, Killoran, all capital letters. Again, it looks similar.
K-I-L-L.
Yep.
K-I-L-L.
Sorry, go ahead.
You can go ahead and finish that.
Yeah, Killoran, all capital letters. That's the last name of the trust.
Of the trust. Okay. So, and you are the beneficiary of the trust.
That's correct. Yeah, the last name and my family name are spelled similarly, but the punctuation is different. The last name is all capital letters, whereas my family name is only the first letter of the family name is capitalized. The rest of the letters are lowercase. Are you still there? Okay,
I'm just pulling up the information, trying to.
I just want to make sure we didn't get disconnected.
No problem. Okay. I have. And so may I have a good phone number just in case we get disconnected?
Yeah, sure. I can be reached at 740 647 2521.
Okay. So you said you are calling. You are the beneficiary of the. So the trust name is just Killorran.
That's the last name of the trust. The entire trust name is all capital letters. Brandon Scott Killeran. I could spell that out for you if you'd like.
So Brandon, I got that.
Yeah, all capital letters. Scott Scott, and then the last name. That's the full name of the trust.
And so do you have an EIN number for the trust?
That's the Social Security number. That's the account number associated to the trust. That's how it's set up with the SESK Trust through the Treasury.
All right, no problem. And how may I assist you today?
So I'm having some troubles with the public servants out here around the area of Zanesville, Ohio, and around the area of Muskingum County. So I'm having a hard time, kind of, for lack of better terms, wrapping my head around why this sort of activity is being permitted, is being, I guess, condoned, where the local public servants are ignoring the Constitution. They're ignoring established laws and codes and statutes that have been established by the legislature. They feel that they have the authority to suspend established law, suspend Supreme Court rulings, suspend any checks and balances that may be put in place to prevent them from causing harm to the community or people in general, or even specifically for that matter.
And so public servant, you are referring to as public servant to who exactly?
Well, I'm using the term generally at this point because in my experience, I've come to find out that it's not just one particular faction or facet of the local government, if you will. It seems to be a prominent problem. And I'm trying to identify the exact reasons why, if it happens to be nepotism. There definitely seems to be some nepotism. I have evidence of that. But there seems to be a mentality out here where the public servants think, I guess, because, from what I've kind of gathered based on their jargon, is that they think that because of the home rule status of the state, that they have like carte blanche to do whatever they want, regardless of established state laws. They think that they have the authority to overstep the bounds of the established boundaries that were set by the legislature. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the codes and statutes, they only apply to corporate persons. They apply to the local governments, the municipalities, the state governments, the anyone operating in commerce. That's what those codes and statutes apply to. So more so than applying to the people in general, they more so apply to the public servants, and they're more so checks and balances and limitations that are set by the legislature over the municipalities. It's partly for protection of the people, and just to give you a prime example, in which I think this is what I've talked to representatives from the Attorney General's office about before. Excuse me. This little bit here is, I've been dealing with excessive noise. I relocated out to this area 4 years ago. And shortly after relocating, I started noticing more and more disturbing levels of noise coming from different areas, different directions. At first, it was just extremely loud, and it kept getting louder, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. And being relatively new to the area, I reached out to the local public servants. Initially, it was the Public Service Department to try to get some help in identifying the sources, because it sounded like machinery to me. And so I suspected that there was some local area businesses that were operating machinery, heavy machinery, all night long, and that's what was the cause of the source of the noise. So as I tried to investigate the sources and attempted to get help from the local public servants, instead of getting help tracking down the sources and getting the companies to mitigate their production noise at night, specifically at night. I mean, during the day, I understand there's production hours, within reason, obviously. I mean, they can't go out there and make so much noise that it's deafening the population. But I mean, I get it. During the day, they can make a little bit of noise production-wise, and that's okay. But at nighttime, it's supposed to be peaceful. The codes and statutes, even the municipal codes and statutes, let alone the state codes, the Ohio Revised Codes require it.
Sorry, yes, sir, Mr. Brandon.
It's just Brandon. Please don't give me any other titles.
All right, no problem. So, Brandon, wanted to let you know the role of the Attorney General Office is to serve as a legal counsel for the state agency, board, and commissions. And all the information that you are providing to me right now, it is against I would say so it is the government servants. That's what we are referring to exactly. The best way to complain about that would be to complain at the governor's office.
Yeah, they don't answer their phone. And just to interject here real quick, because you're actually wrong. The Attorney General's office is actually responsible for taking consumer complaints, for investigating consumer issues, potential consumer fraud, and other issues like that, as well as addressing concerns for public safety when it comes to.
Definitely, I can just take this as a concern. I will note this down as a concern that you.
Oh, this is more than a concern. I'm getting ready to mail out some documentation so that way the Attorney General can witness officially the documents that I'm going to be sending, and outlining all of this. I mean, I've attempted to make everybody aware of this. I just see the thing is you all have a responsibility, and I, as a man, a living man, cannot understand why you're not being more responsible in your duties. Not just you specifically, but the Attorney General's office in general. So I'm not just speaking to you, the individual or person that I'm speaking to on the phone right now, but the office in general. So anyone that will listen to this in the future can hear this and know that I'm speaking to them as well. It's ridiculous that you all see. This is why these public servants out here are acting the way that they do, is because you all give them special treatment and you make excuses for their malfeasance, and then you say things like this that. Again, making further excuses. I got to call the governor's office, even though they don't answer their phones.
I was just going to provide you the information. If they don't answer the call, there's a website like governor.ohio.gov.
Oh, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware, and I appreciate you giving me that information. However, the issue is that you all are malfeasant in office. You all are not being responsible, and that's what's allowing this cesspool of malfeasance in the municipal corporations as well, because you all are malfeasant and it trickles down from there. And the old adage, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, while the cat's away the mice will play. When there's no responsible people acting properly in their roles that they've been put in place, however, when they're not being responsible in those roles, the ones that they're supposed to be looking over, being the checks and balances of, tend to get out of control. And so you're absolutely right. I mean, the governor is just as responsible. And at this point, I'm only just simply reaching out as a matter of, I guess, courtesy. But then also attempting to get a little bit further explanation as to why this type of malfeasance is acceptable. Because quite frankly, it's ridiculous. This is exactly why things are the way that they are. Is because we're ignoring established laws. We're ignoring established codes. We're ignoring the checks and balances, and the people are suffering. And when I try to get some peace and quiet, and my life is turned upside down, and my life is threatened, I was almost killed. My property was stolen from me by the local tyrants. I will use that term very directly because that's what they are. When they ignore due process, when they ignore my rights, and they act as tyrants, and they steal my property and threaten my life and property, and throw me in a cage because I asked them to do their job. Yeah, that's a serious concern, and it should be for you all as well. But for some reason it isn't, and I'm kind of curious why it isn't. So maybe you can enlighten me why it is not a serious concern for you all.
It is like we are the constituent. I'm so sorry, but we are the constituent services, and we just provide we just take the consumer complaints that we get over here. And the concerns that you do have mentioned, I can definitely take that note over here. And we have been notified that the Attorney General's service cannot provide legal assistance or advice to individuals.
I'm not asking for
And
that.
any information that, yes, sir. And sorry if again I said sir. And the Attorney General serves as a legal counsel. So any of this matter or concern, we refer this to be contacted to the governor office. And if you are directly, specifically referring to the servants, as if you are referring them to, you are generally speaking about the mass everybody. So I just couldn't figure out, are you complaining about the police department? Then I could provide you the chain of command to follow on which way to go. That would be the right way. That's what I was trying to understand from you. So if you are complaining in general about the police department, that they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, then I do have the information under my jurisdiction that if the police doesn't do what they are supposed to do, then you might want to contact the chief of police. And if you pass that step, if you think it's not resolution yet, then you might want to contact the police department's internal affairs department. And if that step is also not effective, then the person should contact the mayor, because the mayor is all over the municipalities, including the police department. And if you also pass those steps, and then you might want to contact the U.S. Department of Justice, and you still feel that things are not done as a proper way as they are supposed to be, then pass all those. It is a private legal matter.
Well, I appreciate your breakdown of all of that, and again, I'm not asking for legal advice or what was the other word or term that you used? I can't recall. Anyways, I'm simply trying to comprehend why you all aren't doing your jobs, because you all are supposed to be keeping these public servants in check. Period. You're part, maybe not directly, but you all are part of the system here that is supposed to keep the public servants in check, to prevent them from overstepping their bounds, from violating people's rights, from infringing upon the Constitution, especially the Second Amendment. I mean, there's a lot of talk about this right now, especially, but let's talk about this for a second. Stealing my property. That property was a quote unquote, what some people say is a firearm. I call it a gun, or a self-defense weapon. But that property was stolen from me unlawfully. Had nothing to do with the matter that they were attacking me for.
So when that was stolen, did you file a complaint?
I attempted to, and I'm still filing. As a matter of fact, I just sent in my last notice and a declaration of fraud to not only the court, but some of the individual the court representatives, and I have further mailings I'm going to be sending out for the damages that have been caused by the fraud that had taken place in the court, because these public servants committed fraud on the record, publicly, on the record, admitted that even though they had a duty to act, they didn't bother. They chose to do something different. And on top of that, they manipulated the situation to their advantage, so that way they could, what they call, charge me or whatever, so they could come and threaten my life, all because I called and asked them to do their jobs. Because it is the municipal corporation's responsibility to address disturbances of the peace and nuisance noise problems, regardless if they're, what location it's at, whether it's quote unquote in the city limits or out of the city limits, whatever these excuses they like to use. Even though Ohio Revised Code says it specifically, I've tried to address all of this with all of the quote unquote chain of command as you broke it down, but no one seems to really care. So that's what I'm trying to understand why. Maybe you can just enlighten me why the Constitution's being ignored, why my rights have been ignored. And I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of other people, but obviously this behavior is being condoned by not only the Attorney General's office, but other.
So let me just tell you the further explanation of the role of the Attorney General office. The role of the office is to keep our few listed down here, which I can mention you. The Attorney General office issues missing child alert assist law enforcement with Amber Alerts and provide training to students, parents, and teachers on the safe use of technology. Protecting consumers, the Consumer Protection Section educates the consumers and business and offers a dispute resolution process to assist consumers, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our office also offers resource and compassion to victims, educates and protects seniors, and provides resource for charities and nonprofit organizations.
Well, that's
Um,
convenient.
and a country is also satisfied with, over here. That's all we do. So if you would need any further explanation, definitely I can take an email address down from you and get some further information. I can have my supervisor or somebody get back to you and talk to you. That's all I could do at this moment.
Well, no, I get it. You all don't seem to want to do very much, whether it's because you're not able to or not, don't want to, or whatever the situation is. I really don't care. Quite frankly, I am tired of waiting around for you all to do what you're supposed to do. When my digital complaints, when I file complaints online, when those are ignored, when my paper complaints that I mail to the Attorney General's office are ignored.
Yes,
And
Brandon.
and then
And that's the reason I was just referring you to, because there are certain complaints that we can assist you with, and there are some that we cannot. And that's why the concerns that you were referring to me is the one that you have to contact the governor's office, because that's where you could get any further assistance. And if there,
well, hold on.
all
Let me
that
stop
not-
you. Let me stop because you've already told me this information. I don't need you to tell me it again. I'm not looking for assistance. What I'm looking for is an explanation as to why you all are not doing what you're supposed to do. You all are part of the.
And as yes, Brandon, I just understand that, and that's what I just said. Maybe I am unable to explain that to you at this moment. I can definitely have my supervisor get back to you if you'd like to provide your email address. If there is any further assistance needed or any explanation needed, definitely my supervisor might be able to give you a better explanation than myself.
Well, I mean, they can respond to the mailing then. I mean, quite frankly, I just before I called
Would you like to provide?
before I called and got you on the phone, I had talked to the clerk's office at the court because they're refusing to file paperwork that I had mailed to them. I had mailed off some documentation that I had handwritten outlining some of this activity, this fraud, and it was supposed to be filed into the record by the clerk, and they're refusing. And even though they've accepted it, they received it. I even got the return receipt signature card showing that it was received and signed for. They're refusing to file the documents, and now they're telling me. Some of the court representatives are telling me that they're just going to mail it back to me. That's malfeasance. They cannot just refuse to file paperwork. That's malfeasance.
And that's what I was just referring to. If you do, like, it's a court complaint, and there would be something that you could follow to in order
Oh,
to
I am
find
doing
out
that.
more about that.
I'm doing that, and I
Uh-huh.
appreciate. Listen. I appreciate your encouragement. I appreciate your suggestions. The purpose for this call is to make you all aware of what's going on. So if you all want to do your jobs, not just you, but I'm speaking to the people behind you, the people above you, so to speak. I don't mean to be pejorative. If they want to do their jobs, if you all wanted to do your jobs, then you all need to pay attention to what's going on. I have a public record of all of this. I have documentation to prove all of this. There's public record in the courts to prove all of this. I have been putting a public record on a YouTube channel putting recordings, and as a matter of fact, this conversation will go on there as well, so that not only I can try to figure out why it is that the Constitution is being ignored and people's rights are being ignored and people's property is being stolen, why the Second Amendment is being ignored, why public servants are, I guess it's okay for them to steal firearms now, steal guns, or property in
So,
general, I
Brandon,
guess.
Brandon, I'm so sorry. I have to keep going. Move on. Is there anything else I can assist you with after all this conversation? I offer you to provide your email address. Would you like to provide that? Or I can have my supervisors just give you a call back whenever they can, and I do have your callback number.
Can you just put your supervisor on the phone now?
I cannot right now, but that's what I was offering. I can take your email address, and I already have your phone number. So if you want my supervisor to give you a call back, definitely I can relay this message to them.
And just out of curiosity, is it is the supervisor not in right now? Is there nobody available, or are you not in a position where you can transfer?
Yes, sir. I cannot transfer your call at this moment, but definitely I can relay this message, and they will get back to you.
So, and just one more thing, or just real quick, I guess. So, are you working on site at the public building, or are you working off site remotely?
I don't think I do have the ability to answer that at this moment.
Well, the only reason I ask that is because you all have an obligation, and if you're working remotely because of all this COVID nonsense and keeping people from public spaces and all this nonsense, if that's what the reason is, then this is a further violation of I think it would fall under due process. I'm not an expert, but this is just another example of malfeasance because of the decisions of these so-called, dare I say, leaders. I mean, they're definitely leaders of mine, but these elected officials, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right way to state it. Officials, maybe. I guess that's giving them too much credit. But anyways, the decisions that they're making is what's causing this malfeasance. It's causing the inability to get anything accomplished because you can't transfer a phone call to a supervisor, or I can't get a hold of somebody who can actually give me an honest answer other than, I mean, I get it. You're doing your job. I'm trying not to be rude towards you. Honestly, I'm trying to figure this out, and I just get to the point where I get tired of people reading me scripts. Go ahead. Sorry, I was talking.
I completely understand your concerns, but the thing is that I'm just doing my job, as you
Right.
already mentioned that, and this is my protocol that I have to relay this message. Definitely, I'll do that. I will be more than happy to do this, and that's what I'm doing. So just give them time. They will definitely get back to you and talk to you. So.
Oh, I've given them years. Well, here, write this down too, if you will, in the note or the complaint or whatever it is that you're writing, the memo, I guess. I don't know what you call it. The YouTube channel that I've been posting a lot of the evidence to, not all of it, but some of it. But there's plenty of it there. The title of it is called Exhibited Meat. Exhibited like an exhibit in a courtroom. And then the word meat, MEAT. Nothing provocative or nothing like that. It's just a funny saying for, anyways, something to chew on, I guess. So that's the title of the YouTube channel. A majority of the postings on there are recordings and interactions with public servants, whatever. I'm trying to.
You want my supervisor to look into that before they give you a call?
Oh, they could, yeah, by all means. Please look into it. In fact, an investigator should be investigating the information that's in some of these postings because it's evidence of the malfeasance and the fraud that was perpetrated not only through the police department but the all the way through. the local municipal government through the mayor's office and so forth into the county, the sheriff's office, sheriff's department, the county court of common pleas. I found malfeasance and extreme egregious violations
Okay.
all throughout it.
Brandon, I'm so sorry. So I have provided the necessary information that I could to you, and I have also offered that a callback would be done to you. So I have to leave, and I have taken this information that you wanted the supervisor to look into this YouTube channel, the Exhibited Meat, and call you back. Okay?
Oh, they don't have to call me back. It doesn't make a difference there. But they should be investigating this and looking into it. And these public servants, so-called public servants, should be brought up on charges and formally charged for their crimes.
Okay. Yes, Brandon. Okay. All right. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. And if you could also put in that memo that I will be sending out some documents here pretty soon. I think I might have mentioned it to the Attorney General's office to witness for the damages that were caused by the public servants out here from their actions and roles in damaging my estate. So those documents will be coming in the next couple of weeks or so.
Okay. No problem.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
No problem. You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.